Open up communication cycles, re high centers, all communication light streams, in digital platform line rotation. To understand how to use calculation on all levels of U measures. It measures you and high interference and how you see yourself through all levels. Delegation to its calculations, force line triangles, communication system. When I'm communicating to everybody, it's all levels of vibration, right? And the connections to vibration sets its course line centers E equals MC squared. NAG track interference, equal line sign locations, mass of calculation, communications, comes into your comfort zone line system. Try to use the triangulation force lines. Now, triangulation force line is all levels of U. How it computerized its high center in more communication system. The more you high rise, take position line centers into ear. All right, the ear line center location in Earth and position of the space line. Calculation, take them out of track interference, because if you don't, get pinged in high center. Calculation, all stream interference locations, all levels of division. It tactic its high system locations of calculations. Setting course channels, communication of frame centers. Open all communication triangles. Now, you understand the plateaus and interference location, how you travel to 3, 6, 9 location. 3, 6, and 9 is the crucial lines of U through top rotation light stream. How to use it is all levels of U, right? It has a prodigal system location its calculation. So it's to understand how to use yourself as an atom. So if I'm rotating high center locations, you're probably looking at northwest, south, and east. But what you don't realize, already done position location all lines, which means there is no east, west, and south because it's already created location, which means that everything through thought line center is already written in track center location as position. So it's to understand how to use your thought patterns and really force line communication to a circle line rotation, into a circle line rotation, into all levels of the vector communication, to a sector line connections. Every time I do rotation cycle, it's all levels of space and how it accumulates all line centered atmospheres of change, weather patterns, correlation, panels, electrical lights, electrical divisions, mainframe, division tactics, high center, computer operation interference, virus line channels, location high system. You got 5 vector line centers of finger point location of clockings into another 5 line center and positions, right? 10 line center locations, 2 moon line centers, 2 position of sun line condition directions. Bring it in together. Sequence pattern line center, graph interference. Signal and position, box line position, square line center, all position left, right. Center up in position, 3, 6, 9 pattern, 3, 6, 9. Right, change it 3 over here, 3 over here, right? 6 over here, 6 over here, 6 over here, 9 in center. 9 equals 1% line conditions. So in position of direction is really understanding how to travel through. So today we're going to travel through the simulation. A 144,000 line channel, 5,000 graph centers, locations of 5,000 communications of channel operation. Communication cycles and high interference, okay? Realm connecting, okay? So you guys are going to be in a center line center to its crystal grid. It's a high streamline interference location of its directions. How to basically fight the system line connections all levels of U through yin and yang. Force communication line centers, because you're no longer in a 12 sequence. You're in a 24 line connection, 24 light system, 24 clocking system, 24 angle line connections, angle line interference of north, angle line centers of east, west, south, and in position location of directions. Northeast, northwest, east, west, southwest. So it's all position of direction, right? So it's important to understand these things because what you're doing through travel is all levels of you and how you get these things through abundance. It opens all communication, all line system, all right? On-line position location of you. Tracking your positions of how you use your GODs, your geometrics of operation of design, your divisions, your high centers, okay? Your track interference, your program setting, your reset line connections of computer graph locations. Now let's say you got 31 days line system. Graph interference. Set position location. It's all set in signal, right? Open up the line graph, high center connections, all levels of flux capacitor. So it's like one phone to another phone line center, one graph line center in position to the right. Left position location of space. Hey, how's it going? Not too bad. How are you? I'm fine. How's everything going? Yeah, I'm doing really well. So it's in all calculation, all levels. So understanding from travel one position to another position, another position, another position, that's a 4-line graph locations. Women are triangle, men are square. High interference of triangle locations. 4-point line centers, 5 within position of fluctuation line condition. Ground's power is the atmosphere line center. The only difference is the male aspect is a square line triangle. Let me say that again, a square line triangle. And women are a triangle position location of a box position. So it's the reverse in position location of direction line centers, how forward and backward line center in location to its position. It's pretty interesting how everything is created in high center in all locations of shapes, letters, numbers, and symbols. The more you locate its connection to its high line rotation, you understand more levels of U through 0, 0 in calculation of 1. So where the gravity line center locations, gravity position line centers, gravitational pull through its archetype, swirling in high interference location of grounds. So it's all about understanding what you're doing through all line conditions, how space is set up in your position locations, taking it out of aero line, center line, inner rotation interference, putting track line centers, computer operation line centers, communication line system. Fixing things in all line course line center, box interference line position. Triangulation, 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 triangulation. 5-point line center locations. 4 position locations of weather, 4 position locations of weather, in position locations all line center. High center locations of 8. 8 channel line center interference, 2 position locations of thumb line center, in triangulation location. So it's trying to understand how to use all line conditions of an amazing version. Yes, it's all levels on how you use the structure and interference location of directions. Line strip high system. You got 2 outline centers, one here, another one here, communicated high system. So it's really understanding how to use the voice box channel interference location on online directions, okay? How you use all levels of U inside, how to use the calculations, how to use the modifiers, how to use simulation locations, right? So we get a 2-day track line center, and then we get into infiltration. Communication line center is set up in stream interference locations, coming into online center locations, all right? Triangle force, box positions, box triangle. We come into Alpha Bravo communications. Now we come into Delta line center. A delta line center is a track line interference. It's a position location of 3-6 pattern. It's all communication to its inner line center that basically locks its division location to its center line connections, to its graph line center, to its honeycomb interference. So it's in its communication system, allocate time stream interference locations into 1 line center, 2 position locations of the moon, 2 position line centers, the moon line center, bring in a communication line system, offline communication high system. So in rotation center, it's truly saying how to use all levels in 369 plateau. Okay, your communication line center, offline position location calculations, how to use your computer adaptations at 369. So in triangulation force line, it all communicates high system. It rotates its cycle. Okay, sending up the simulation graph code signal locations. Okay, so we're going to course recognition of time center. That opens up position location of directions, resetting course lines. Now we're going to go through coloration wash, 1 line center locations, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 channel line center coloration patterns. You guys have traveled to each 1-point locations, right? Every time I touch the button position location finger line center, which is the pointer line center, you guys are going to travel through each coloration simultaneously in 1 position location to 1 reception line color to a high system. So 16 colorations into 1 position location, a center operation line center, and a 12 DNA track location. Here we go. Signal in position or direction. All levels, communication line center, brown. So set and signal line in rotation, line connection, interference, position line directions, bringing all 16 colors, line center location to coloration. 1 coloration of triangle and communication system, retracting high center line interference. So it puts position in the high system in calculations back in the white graph location. White graph line center, 4 triangle locations, positions, 5 within system, 5 in activation, 6 within line center, 8 within all position of the moon, and sun within location, high interference. So in position of directions, we set course line channels, black surface high line calculation. Now there's one line center, cross signal locations, right? Coming into graph line center rotation, okay? Now, understanding circle lines, communication interference with dimensional lock in the system. Calculates modify high stream locations to a graph line center location to its position. Walkway surface. Calculation of line interference, puts position of directions, okay? So we come in all line center, electrical graph interference position, okay? We set course line channels in direction, okay? One direction line center, locking the screen. We go into the opposite line direction, high center interference, one way, the opposite line rotation. Weather patterns, a high channel, line connection, electrical lights, graph interference of rainbow directions, one way, in position of another way, line center interference, in position of both way locations of 10 to 1 and 1 to 10, in triangular force line communication to its system. Allocates time lines in force line communications, point system here, point system here, point system here. 3 triangle force line, now a communication line center, open all circle locations, add a line center, in position of directions, high center line position locations, in position of outline center. Calculation modification stream center locations, set course line channels, on 16 coloration patterns, open all communication cycles, reset line centers, put them in the simulation location, the high system, graph interference of channel line centers, 31-day line interference location of all levels of correlation panel, communication times pi times calculation, course line channel in position locations of 12, 3, 6, and 9 line connections, clocking system, in position of directions, in signal and rotation to flux capacitor high channel, all communication high system into high channel locations on lines, in rotation center. Now it's communication line center rotation. One position of direction is center line connections. Opens all communications into one downstrip location in high system. Correlation to a panel line security and position of balance line interference. Now we come into the Fibonacci sequence line center, 12 in a position location of directions, one way in high system, one way in another high line center, in position of downline center location, east line position location, south line, in communication line center location of position. Opens all communication cycles, reset line conditions on levels, set laser direction line interference, in position directions, graph line center, rainbow configuration line center interference position directions. 12 comes into 3, 3 becomes into 6, and 6 comes into 9. So we got 9, 6 line center, 6 position of 3, 12 position of all line center, and 12 into 9 line connections. In position of direction. Now, as it's coming into direction line system, we set up a recourse line channel into dimensional setting. It records its position location of its calculation. Opens all channel line center. We travel through high interference locations of 12, 3, 6, and 9. Sequence and pattern high interference location. Code signal line center. Crew units in high simulation, all levels. Squad unit 1's line position locations. Echo Zulu 1 position off Bravo communication lines. Tango Tango. Foxtrot high center. Echo Zulu 1. One position of direction line system. Travel position location on lines. Go into the GFL line positions of light. Counseling communication system. Reset channel line center locations. All levels. Rebellion line center line and rotation calculations. In position of alliance. Set up formation line connections, identification code streams, times calculation times pi. Ground line center, XT1000, X line in position location, redirect high center in position locations, calculation modification high streams, open all communication cycles, reset generation light centers in reposition location of levels, ascending communication line to ascension line condition of gods, communication cycles, reset channel line centers, graph interference locations, galaxy high channels, open all communication cycles, reset generation light center line and rotation calculations, time clocking system, 1406 in high center, 75 followers and viewer and high system locations, and 9 in directions. Thumbs up in position location, 30 minutes, have fun. Wow, that was fun. As you guys are sequencing pattern line center, the simulation graph line center, you got a 2-day track locations, one position of 24, 24, 24, 48 position locations. You have a 48 window line center. In position location, 30 and Friday, we infiltrate line center location to its planet surface. Triangulation to its force line, opens all communication cycles. So in calculations, we set channel lines. Now this opens all communications, all levels of graph line centers. This changes your illumination graph line centers of signature location to its high system. This patterns its division location to its open signals. Now the open signals comes into the upper line center. Alpha equals correlation. Okay. Delta equals communication. All right. It's kind of like AC/DC. All right. So as we come into calculations, you understand the correlation of four lines, center, position of direction. Once you understand that, the equal line center in position location goes up line, and everything through the signal line position goes in down surface. It correlates its position of directions. Now we cross the signal in high center, okay? And we cross back in high interference location across signal. We open a graph stream in position of directions. Okay, now it's on the one line, center line, and rotations. So it's basically on the east line, west line communication, which is now surfaced into north reference of communication to south line position. Now in calculations, we set a recourse line channel to a higher line per rotation to its clocking system of position. Okay, now it's redirecting high center to its positional high system. See how it opens up the window location? Now the window is open in high signal in calculations. There's the window. Now the window's in set signals. Now the correlation comes into an illumination graph line. Radio signal position of gamut system. Now it's understanding how to use the box center position location of directions. Resetting course line channels. No communication cycles. The reset line conditions, all division to its position of high system. All levels of all line conditions. T reception lines. Now the T reception lines is all level to its ground line center. In position location of center position. And high center location to its magnetic highway information line condition to its position. Okay, so it's channeling in high interference to a hologram structure, putting everybody into the ground line center of operation to its position, opening up gamma signals and high line conditions. Now we go through high interference locations, sun grounds, communication line center, point box locations, four direction location of point systems, magnetic highway information location to its calculations, setting recourse channels, and all coloration. All right, wall channel interference of positions to hologram structure, identification high stream, times calculations, box center, okay? So we come into 144 clocking line center of a 24 signal to a one position location of directions, which is your 9-line system, which is a 1% location of physical line interference, in position line center to your 7 window track location. That opens up 5 atmosphere line centers of 12 DNA that reposition locations into calculations to another graph line center of hologram structure location to its position, all right? All right. Okay, so everybody doing so far? Okay, Trey, how's it going? Jill, how's it going? Emmy, how's it going? Darren, how's it going? Lindsay, how's it going? Pam, how's it going? Gypsy, how's it going? Sharon, how's it going? Berg, how's it going? Nikki, how's it going? Everybody, how's it going? Michael, Johnny, Terry, Pam, Jill, set the correlations. All right, it's great to see everybody. Calculation line streams, JP, Jessica. Yeah. So just going through high centers and interference. So it gets much easier once Lucy has gone. It's all about understanding Heather, really understanding you, right? And that's what Travels 101 does for everybody. But it's about sequence pattern and high interference location, how you use the sun position to the moon to all levels of you through travel. I just point my finger. See? It doesn't matter what I do. It correlates. See? S-line channel. See? See how it goes on its own? It moves on its own until it's ready. So if you look really close, you can see the 8-line center interference. 8 position of direction. There you go. See how it goes on its own? It's still going on its own. So it's amazing how you put position of direction. It line graphs its position of direction lines. It opens all communications, all levels. Point location, point location, point location, point location, point location, point location. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there's triangulation of 2-line interference location directions here. So we got a triangle line force line. Okay, and we got a triangle line position line, location position. So this is all about lines and locations, 3, 6, and 9. Okay, in 12-line position. All right. Now the coordinates line center is 12 interference, which is 3, 6, and 9. So you can use 12 twice in one position of direction. Interesting, right? 3, 6, and 9, which is a core line center to a diamond core line position. And you can basically put position location to another high line center locations, right? But this is all line center of the Merkaba. This is set signal locations on lines until communications to your XT1000 line opens up the crop circle location to its ground system. So it's true to understand how you can use 12 in reference in high center of 12 position location, which is 24 lines, because it's no longer in a 12 line system. It's in a 24 signal. Now, in calculations, you have to learn how to use your 4872 and 144 of graph interference. It all positions of its directions, how you go 3, 6, and 9, and 12, 12, 3, 9, all line conditions, all levels of 6. So it redirects high system, calculation, modification, line conditions, protecting high center. So it's about understanding what you're doing through triangulation of 3, 6, 9 platforms, how you can change position location line conditions, but you're no longer in position location of 12. If you get lost in signal, always use 12 as a reference. Never, ever use it as a force line. Because if you use it at 12 line center in a rotation signal, there's a 12 line. So 12 in position locations, all right? So 12 plus 12, okay, it's calculated. There's a center line. That changes position locations on all lines. So 12 and 12 is 24. See how I go through correlation? Now you ground it position location to a crop circle location. Okay, 12 and 12 is 24. 24 in position goes straight down its center line. Scans its high line in rotation. Zip, zap, zoom, out equation right back into the sun line. So it's all understanding that if you stay in a 24 signal, that's totally fine. That's no problem whatsoever. But you have to understand how you can change your positions of direction through your clock system. So it correlates high line center in position of directions. Okay, resetting high interference and direction line system, rotation line conditions. All right, so this doesn't look like much, right? But it's all calculated. It's all modified, right? So it's all about understanding how you use it locations, line signal and position directions, latch illumination graph interference, set course line channel. Okay, so we go through all lines. Travel position locations and directions. So you got to find a sequence pattern, how to calculate and modify, how to put everything all together in position directions, and how to formulate it into a map sequence of its coordinate. Okay. So as you come in, XT1000 comes in automatically, scans what you just finished doing. Remember, it's all about you directing the center line communication. Always finds the center. The XT1000 doesn't find the center because it knows where the center is in anything through its observation. Its communication line center sets up a graph line center, rotation cycle, and interference location and direction. Okay? As it's going in their cyclone, you change channel position, location, and direction. Okay? Both sideline center. Okay? That gets really interesting. Setting recourse channels, correlation panel, in direction. Okay? Now this comes into Jupiter rising. Jupiter rising high center interference, correlation line conditions, not in 24 signal, not in 48, not in 72, not 144, but in 1044 location. So your planet line center can be a microdot, or your planet surface can be a humongous mass communication cycle. It clones its line center interference. It brings its position of directions into high line center, into channel communication to its system. XT1000 gets a data line stream interference location and position. Brings the planet's surface into solar graph line connection to its channel. Opens up communication cycles. Reclones the high line channel locations, all levels of graph line center, to another position location of direction. Okay? As it comes in course line channel, goes into the center upper line center. Now we go into a plasma sequence. It's in position location of directions. Setting course line centers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 channels and high interference in directional location of clocking system locations. Right? So as it's coming in high center, high direction, this comes out of equation, travels in high center location out of 12 signals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 position, location, and direction. All right. So it's interesting how you basically set up anything through solar graph line center. The archetypes come in position of direction. Now they sequence its pattern. Now they correlate its high line rotation. They come in signal. Okay, high force. So they come in high force line channel, correlation to its position. As it redirects high system. Okay. So it's all about repositioning line centers and how to set up an XT1000 to a different division location to a different universe line. Now this opens all communication line system to its position and directions, right? So it's important you understand how to use line signals of graph locations into a solar graph line center to an atom line center or anything through Jupiter horizon location. Surfacing engine high system location puts you into particle system, okay? So it's all about channeling and highline channel locations of division locations. But it's true to understand how to travel the online center of 12 equals 12 and a 24 into a crop circle location in XT1000. Once it gets an information line center to the center line in rotation, which is one position location, which is 9 line center interference, and directs location to its clocking system, its position. So this is all about understanding how to travel faster, guys. Okay, so everything I give you is already set in view. Your eye receptor has to understand that calculation when it comes into the floaters. We'll get into that, why you guys are seeing floaters now. Now, floaters are records of time. It's eye receptor timer interference. Now, you got communication eye system locations, right? Now, this is all levels of your eye line. Okay, we got communication cycle. We got cycle and interference position directions, all right? This is your eye line, okay? Correlates position of direction, okay? So it's true to understand all line center locations or the hemisphere locations of your fluctuation to the center line conditions to your eye system. All right. So electrical light condition interference in direction locations, high positions to eye system. Correlates high center, full communication of eye. Now, true to understand the activation line stream. Now it forces its line center interference. Now in position location, its high line center location to stargates. Stargate position location 1. 1 is center line. 2 is the position location to its past line. And 3 is its future line. 2, 1, 3. 1 is the position of the present line, which is, you guessed it, 1%. That always stays in the center operation line connection to its position. All right? So 3 is the future line. And 2 is position of the past line. So it's interesting how you look at things. You're thinking, wait a minute, I thought 2 was ahead. No. 1 is the 1% of mu. So don't get confused that location to its triangulation. It doesn't matter the platitudes of where 369 goes as long as you don't use 12 as a position location as a force, because it changes the 1% location backing force line centers of 2 line centers in direction. Calculation high interference location of directions. Now you get floaters coming in. Now floaters are little things that go inside your eye. Like this. You see these in your eye and you're trying to figure out what it is, right? Those are floaters. Now, floaters are recognition of time center. They open up communication line center to your graph line center. Your eye's electrical box. It's a communication cycle that resets line center location of its future line. So that's why you guys are getting floaters in rotation to its position to its 1% location. So it's all about understanding how to use the reference line. Now, if you change the coloration path, your floaters are going to change high line center to the past line rotation of coloration of 2, which changes all line center locations in position locations into black. You don't want to go into black line rotation to floaters because it changes your position lines to your graph locations of your geometry interference of travel time line centers into its all position. Calculation modification line stream. So in that calculations, you come into higher lines of galaxy centers. This opens a galaxy lock division, guys. This opens all communication line system. Yes, exactly. To the advantage to all lines and locations of sonar, setting signals at position locations and all reference. So floaters are given to you in all line center of force communication into future line connections. Mutation, a high inline center interference of your eye receptors to 2 vector line in rotations into 1 position location. All right. So now you know what floaters are and why they're there for you. All right. So it's exciting, isn't it? All right. Still getting understanding. Some days feel easier than others. Yeah, it's all about understanding there, free thinker. It's really understanding the free thinking line centers. What is a free thinker? Well, let's start with that. Let's correlate that. Free. Okay. Downshift line centers, thinker. There, free thinker. See the T line? Now, the only way to activate it is position, location, and direction. You need the ground line center, you need the power position locations, and you need the magnetic highway information system, plus you need electrical light connections, all levels of directional and 4-line interference in the ground line center, 3 position location of 7 line connections. There, 3 fingers activated. All through course line center of the vertical string. So it's all about understanding how to use this online system, guys. You can travel through anything. You just have to understand all line connections of levels of view, how to use your alphabetical stream. You start with A equals Z. Okay. So Z becomes in position locations of 1. Okay. 1 equals star. Right? Star equals box. Okay. Box, triangle, T reception line connections, all position locations calculations equals all line center communication. So communication comes in high line center location of symbol. Symbol comes into all line center location of Fibonacci. All through calculation, right? So where's the position location of center? Here. This operates all line center locations of what you're seeing at graph locations into the ground line center, into the power recognition, and the magnetic highway information system, right? Channel line center in position directions. There it is, all set in signal. Setting signal locations, Z graph line center interference. Sonar coming in position location and direction. Okay, so you got 1 line center, now position location of 9, which is a clocking system. Position of view, equal line center, up and arrow line center, up and down line center interference, in direction location of atmosphere locations, high line center location of its atom. So, does it get complicated? Yes, it does. Oh, you guys having fun yet? Oh boy. So it's much better. You're growing so much. See how you can laugh about it. Yeah. Being guided back to the library. All books are on systems like in space-time. Yeah. Yeah. Just 12 water balloons thrown at her. You guys having fun? Good. Blue screen coming up. Yeah, it's complicated, but that's the most beautiful thing. Life is complicated, but it's a beautiful thing because life is simple. So if life's simple, make it simple through travel. That's all. So traveling is all levels of drawing. Drawing is all levels of travel. So travel equals phenomenon. Okay. So you got a T-line center interference in position of directions. Open signal locations of its portal. Retracts back in position location T-lines in high interference. Set in position around lines. Open up high center locations on levels of panel lines. Open up communication to its position locations. Rounding line center line connections of half position location and directions. All right. So it's all levels. And this P is phenomenon to line center location of planet. In position of solar, in position location of energy field line connection. Right? How you change that into a planet. All through teleportation, location, or travel through phenomenon. So I'm just trying to show you what travels is. How to travel through this, how to travel through that, how to get this, how to get that. It's all levels of you, right? If you go through Zoom, we already know what Zoom is, right? Zoom, right? Zoom, zip, zap, zoom, right? So it's in calculations, but you have to get into a diamond line center. Now, in position locations, the tree is standing. Now, you circle its position location of Zoom, okay? So in calculations, you set up the ground line center, okay? Now, to travel through that, you have to understand how to use all line connections to the magnetic highway. The basic understanding, guys, is truly understanding you need the grounds, the powers, and the atmospheres. That is the basic understanding. You can't activate anything until you understand the travels of you through all levels of your Merkaba, your power, your tesseract, and your tetrahedron, how to travel through its location. So if you go in escape line center, location of zoo line, okay, escape and position line system, changes the O-line rotation to its open signal. Opens a signal location, its operation to its moon. In position and directions, moon line center interference position location, here's the moon. Okay, setting signals, setting sonar interference location and directions. Graph interference, a rainbow. Signals coming out through the moon, right? All through Zoom. So it's all about understanding what you're doing. Basically, that's all it is. You go through colorations. Like I said, you went through 16 coloration line centers into one line connection line in position locations, all levels of brown line system. So it's important you guys understand how to travel, because it's all levels of view and how you get your positions and directions. Your flight navigation line system, your unified system, your intelligent location, your levels, your operation, your perceptions. You got signals up, you got signals down, cross signals, cross interference, bracketing and high center locations, star rigs and time centers, and in position locations, space lines, communication of 6-line interference, caps, locks, shifts, control line centers, escape bar communication system, space bar division locations, shift and high line interference locations, 1, 2, 5, 7, 8 line center interference, X line interline position location, N high sequence, high position location, enter in position locations, page high center, home and high communication, base communication, heart line, rotation line system, rotate line centers, tab interference location and direction. It's a lot to signal, isn't it? To understand all levels of calculation. How this works for you is all levels from you inside. Okay. So that's the importance you have to understand through position, location, and directions. All right. Setting and signal locations bring you guys back in calculations. High force line centers, simulations, course lines, back in triangle, back in your ground perception location. Bring you in system. Now you're back. Signal and high interference. All right. So tomorrow we got simulation 2. Simulate counts high center. Security measure position locations, all levels, into time frequencies of time code to its position locations. All right. Time center, center position, ground interference, open signal in position of directions. Communicate high center to magnetic highway, right? So it's really understanding how to set these things up in position of Barak when you set up a highline center location to a timestamp. So this is understanding what you guys are doing and why you're doing it, because it's all about you understanding you and all levels of travel, how to travel through all levels of what you're sequencing, patterns, lines, center, atmosphere, locations, in position of directions, understanding the grounds, the powers, and the atmospheres of you through travels. Okay, you can travel through anything through letters, numbers, and shapes and symbols. You just have to understand the energy and how it works through all line conditions. You guys were given platitude division locations how to travel through 3, 6, and 9. And it's all levels of universal line connection. But it's the remembrance location of memory. Once you get into that position location of its position, then you understand how to travel through all levels through a point locations of a timestamp. All right. It's a wonderful feeling when you understand what you're doing, because it's all levels of the how, right? So I can change the graph line center, change position, location, and directions, change coloration. Now, once you add coloration, you come into matrix. Okay. Coloration line center, security line positions. So if it's the matrix, it has to understand is in a security line. So you're automatically connecting to where? Pluto. H line position locations. Okay. There's an H line. So the H line connection is where? Disappeared. It's not there anymore until you understand the track location. Then it stays in position. See, because the center was off. If the center is not in position, it will disappear. So the information opens all communication cycles in rotation to its position line system. Communicate to the ground line center rotation interference. XT1000. See it? Set course line. There it is. See it? There's the XT1000 location. Ooh-ah. So you have to truly understand how to travel. And it's all levels of you, how you use the operation to its position and locations, right? See how my hands are, right? You got 2 waving line centers. See the 3, 6, and 9? See the pyramids? See the top here? 3, 6, and 9? 3, 6, and 9? You use everything as 3, 6, and 9 because everything around you is structured through shape. So you have to learn how to use this in your coordinate locations to your GPS line system. Better calculations is all line, right? So crop circle is ground to, yeah. It is. It's really understanding locations of you. Once you understand how to set up ground line center interference, you can code the locations to levels. It's a modem of a Weaver, and that Weaver opens all communications. So it's like that old phone in calculations where basically you do this, right? You have to understand why there's circle locations in all line conditions, right? It's like, well, that's what you're doing. So if one is not in position or direction, it disappears. Right? So it's not telling me it's in the right direction. So I put it back in location. Is it in the right direction? Yes, because it hasn't disappeared. So where's the triangulation right here? 3-line center. In position locations, 4 position location, 5, 6, 7, 8. Octagon. Intelligent location. There it is. There's the intelligence. See it? Intelligence. High interference. There's the neckline. Ooh, ah. There's the intelligence. Now, location line center comes into lines of vector interference. You need the antenna line system. It correlates its positions of panels, opens all communication to ground line center to all position location as pyramid. Open all communication cycles, reset line center interference and position of directions. All line connections, all right? Graph interference of triangulation, graph interference of triangulation, graph interference of triangulation, all line center location, all line locations, and graph line center locations in Team Merkaba. Now, you come into sequence pattern, torque field line rotation in position, right? Opens up cyclone line channel, right? Opens up cyclone channel, left and right position location and directions. See the intelligent locations? Where is that through calculations? What is this through high line center? In calculation, it is all line center to a Lyron. Lyrons. Cat. See, all this is connected to a cat. That's Lyron client. Lyrons, guys. Lyrons, cats, meow. So now you understand the calculation, how this works. All through graph line centers, channel line interference location, all direction locations, all in position. So it's all about understanding how to set up a crop circle location, anything through intelligent line system, ground interference location, circle graph interference line conditions, directions into Lyron. Ooh-ah. So, you guys blown away yet? And it's amazing too, because you can set these things up. Lyra, yeah, Lyrons. It's all about understanding what you're doing through travel. And I keep saying that. This is a true understanding. It's not what you're drawing. It's what you're doing through traveling. Okay, it doesn't matter what you draw. Like I can draw anything and not even think about it. So traveling to this location doesn't look like much, right? When I just draw it out, but I know what it is, the position location of this high system, because it's all triangulation. Doesn't look like much, but if you look really, really close, you actually see the graph system. So it's all about coloration of change, coloration of time. Now you get a rainbow graph line center and coloring it in. Then you're going to see the shape form in position locations to its direction. Ooh-ah. See? Now, if you look really close, you can see the intelligence. See? See the eyes? See? The intelligence. There it is. All right. So it's sure you're saying how to use this, guys. All through laser direction. See? Laser goes out. So calculates, modify high center interference in position and direction. Signal in position, a high system. Now that's a point line dot. That opens all sequence patterns and triangulation of force line. So we go into green center line in rotation to triangulation. Right? So it comes into reverberation channel to graph location. Signaling location is all human resonance. Opens all communication line systems. We go into force line. In high center line interference. In direction line centers, clock in high channel line rotation. See how I changed the graph line center structures? Now change position location of the lines. Now you can graph interference in position and directions. Colors and change its high center locations into its box position. Box position locations to another box line conditions, all levels of structure, communication of triangles, setting course line channels into 3, 6, and 9. Everything is 3, 6, 9, and 12. So you have to understand why is everything 3, 6, 9. Your shape is all levels of 3, 6, 9. 3, 6, 9, 12. 12, 3, 6, 9. 9, 3, 6, 12. It's all levels of you. It's how to bounce these things out. So it's all about understanding how you use the structure line center interference location at 12 line positions. Sequence, pattern, line, condition, all levels, division. Ooh-ah. All right. So ancient knowledge is now an upgraded. Yeah, everything you go through travels, upgrade, location, is position. All right. So in sequence patterns, time sequency, time codes, time clocking line system. It's all directing all levels of U. How to use the number sequence: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 5, 6, 7, 5, 3, 9, 5, 1, 7, 4, 1, 1, 4, 7, 2, 5, 8, 3, 6, 9. So what is that equation location? Everything that I did through code signal, 3, 6, 9. Right? So 3 is at the bottom, 6 is in the middle, 9 is at the system. So if 3 is in the center line, 3 is always in the center line. It doesn't matter if it's on the right or the left. It's always in the center operation line, position locations on all levels of U, because what you're doing is finding a way to keep yourself in center and everything that you see through operation. That's all levels of how you see things through your perceiving locations of perception. Okay? So, all right. So I think that's good for now. You guys did a wonderful job. Tomorrow, day 2 in simulation locations. All right. You guys have a wonderful day. Adios.